All righty, let's get everyone back in. There we go. There we go. All righty, guys. Welcome, welcome, one and all. It's the best time of the week. It's the best internet show with wargaming talk anywhere in the whole world. It's right here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be coming up on 6 years soon. 6 years soon.
Every week. Well, most 99%.
About every week. Now, we did miss 1 week in 6 years.
Yeah.
When Tony's sister passed away, we decided to,
fair enough.
honor her by not having a show that week, unfortunately. But anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. We have a very exciting show today. Our subject today is using your brain.
Oh.
When do you decide, all right, I'm done. I'm done with this game. I'm just done. Do you wait till you finish? Do you wait till you get to a certain point? When does your frustration for a game end and you just say, okay, I'm done. I'm just putting it away and starting something new? Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be negative as well. It could be positive as well. I'm not just talking about the negative. Oh, I hate this game. I'm putting it away. We're also talking about, oh, I love this game. When do I put it away? Do I want to play it again? Do I want to play it a second time? And I think, Nate, you might be muted because I didn't.
I'm okay now.
There you go. All
yeah,
right,
so you don't want to do Jester like, what was it, the movie Kelly's Heroes, always with the negative waves.
Right. No, I'm not talking about just the negative. I'm talking about the positive as well. And so anyways, that's our subject this week. We got a lot to talk about. The three of us are back together for a couple weeks. I will be gone in a couple weeks. For actually 2 weeks, we're going to be going to Iceland and Greenland. We're going to be gone for 2 weeks. So
get over to Sweden and go and meet Thomas from Historic Wings. Mm-hmm. That's a hop, skip, and a jump from Greenland, I think. So
is it?
And Jester, you're so close. You could just go visit Ruff.
Yeah, but it looks like we're just around the corner, but we're right at the bottom at that little island.
Hey, you could just take a small boat from Iceland and make it to.
It'll probably take a couple of hours to get to London from that part of the world, so it's it's silly distance, So it's a couple of hours on a plane.
We'll talk about that later. But anyways, we have an announcement to talk about, everyone.
We?
Yes, it's all about our good friend here.
That's right.
And
that's right.
For those of you who don't know, Ruff Swordsman is having a birthday tomorrow. Yay! All right. Yes. And it's a big one, isn't it, Ruff? Tell us about it.
It's a big, it's not the big one. No, it's not. It's I'm officially retiring tomorrow from gainful employment, if I so wish. I've, getting the state pension from next month. So there we go. Don't look it, do I? Don't look it.
You're going on the dole.
No, going on. No, that's different. That's completely different. This is when a fella or a lady has worked all their life and they get a little bit back. Ruff has got. This is our other way, Mike. Yes.
I'm going to run through the chat as I say hi to the chat. Ruff, why don't you lead us off and talk about your week and talk about what you did?
Been a good week. Finally finished. Skies Above Britain. Excellent. And thank you. And the amount of comments I got saying, glad you stuck with it. I know it's taken a while, but well done. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you everyone for your comments. And that was that. Now looking at what to play next, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But we did we're on Friday. We did a bit of Men of Iron.
Hey, Herman. Oh, Men of Iron. Yeah, I saw you were playing Tewkesbury.
We were doing Tewkesbury. Yes, we had to educate a few people how to say the thing, but Tewkesbury in Gloucestershire. So,
how did it go?
We're still playing. We're still playing. It's a weird one because there's a big sort of bracken. It's not like bocage. It's like sort of chest height bracken, brambles and that sort of thing with derelict buildings from 100, 200 years ago. So you have to get that.
Hey, Mike.
Or you can go round the outside.
Hey, Corey.
Oh, yeah, it's been lovely today in merry old England.
Excellent. So it feels like summer now.
Oh, we got our 2 weeks. That's it.
Well, we got the English weather today. It literally at 8 o'clock this morning.
Did it pour down?
It was so bad outside, it woke me up. And I don't wake up normally from anything. And it woke me up, and I couldn't go back to sleep. The walls were shaking, the windows were shaking. It was crazy.
Welcome to our world on a bad rainy day.
Almost like a hurricane.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, sorry, I was just going to say, I'll tell you what I'm going to be playing next. I was going to be playing either A Glorious Chance or the Cruel Necessity. I think I've decided on Cruel Necessity. I will be playing A Glorious Chance, Patrick, so don't worry. But I've been faffing around with this.
Oh, in the shadows. Yeah.
In the shadows. And I tell you what, look at that. What a cute little board. What a cute little board that is.
Yeah.
So no sort of table space, but the solo bot, what a fun game. It really is a little fun game. You get your ass handed to you on a plate most of the time, but I was talking to Tony, we might even do a 2-player version of it, me and Tony, in the future. But yeah, cracking game for solo. It's because all the bot is trying to do is trying to arrest you, uncover you, and arrest you and get you off the board. And you're trying to ambush them. You're trying to move this thing round so you can bring down how many operatives you've got to have on the board by the time 9 turns are over. So, yeah, good fun. I recommend it.
Now, I'm still waiting for you to get with me to play The Dark Summer.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You see what trouble I had? I had a bit of trouble just logging on today with this. But, yeah, when I get my new computer, maybe we'll have a chat with Tony as well.
We could always do it offline.
Yeah.
But
just running the thing.
Just running it, period.
Just running Vassal and doing, talking to you live, even though we're not live.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave wants to know, are you turning 75?
Shut up. Thank you.
It's you're very close, Dave. Very, very close.
I mean, I understand. I do understand, and I think I know the reason why Ruff has decided to move on to Cruel Necessity as opposed to A Glorious Chance, because he remembers being there.
Vaguely. In the I think I was just knee high to a grasshopper.
He saw Charles I ride through town,
and I chucked some mud at him. So
that's right. A cabbage went by his head.
Yeah. I'm being oppressed.
And since he's retiring, we're gonna have to replace him on the show. He's gonna get too old and senile too quickly. So
that's right.
Replace it. So
no, it's on its way, but no, it's 66. So that's what I am tomorrow. So yeah,
very nice.
Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
so Nate, what happened with you? What was your week like?
Yeah, so my week started off. We had Memorial Day, and I had buddy over. We played War for America. Continued to play. We are currently now in the middle of 1777, and it's actually looking. Oh, nice. It's looking in the game. It's actually looking a bit rough for the Americans. I'm the Americans and my buddies the British, and the British are doing a very good job.
Whoa.
They decided in this game, they decided not to evacuate Boston in the spring of 1776 as they did historically, but instead use Boston as a springboard to try and capture all of New England and then New York. And so yeah, we didn't get to finish, but I got it saved. I put it in Vassal so I can save it. We can pick it up later this summer, but great game. In fact, I heard yesterday, I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before, when Compass did their town hall, that I had heard that they will be, I guess, upgrading or redoing or do something with War for America. So I don't know. It's not listed on their website anymore. So I think they probably took it down to redo it. Wouldn't shock me if they put a mounted map in there instead of the 2 paper maps. I did see that Compass, if you go on their website, they did announce they're redoing Fortress Europa with a mounted map in there, and then also End of Empire, which originally was 2 magazine games that then they put into a boxed edition, and now they're sort of going to deluxify it and have mounted maps and things like that in it. So yeah, that's neat. But today, I Noble Knight was having a sale, as I'm sure most people in the chat saw. Oh yes, Nordic. I would absolutely recommend that. Is my favorite.
I'm looking at it. I do like me Revolution stuff. I'm still waiting for Boar to turn up, but yeah.
Okay.
It's solo friendly as well, isn't it?
War for America is very solo friendly. There's no solitaire system in it, but it is very solo friendly, and it is. I would put it easily as my favorite strategic American Revolutionary War game. There's not many out there, but this one is the best one. I really, really like it.
So would you say it's like a revolutionary equivalent to like For the People sort of thing?
This would be a revolutionary equivalent to the U.S. Civil War from GMT.
Right.
Which that game is amazing. And so I would put them both kind of on the same pars in terms of how much that I enjoy them.
You don't look. Can I just interrupt? You can't let it lie, can you? That the fact that we had to give up because of we had something better to do in France. 250. You do celebrate 250 years. Yeah, all right. Rub it in. That's all I can say. Terrible. Hands across the water. Yeah, but 250 years ago.
Just think, we weren't the only ones you lost, though. That's the important.
That's right.
No, happy anniversary for that coming up. So, as he says, expect lots of tweaks and games maybe coming out. Who knows?
Could be.
Yeah,
could be. But I'm sure most people know in the chat, Noble Knight has been having a sale, their big spring sale. So I did nick something from them, and it's an old classic GMT game from let's see, 1993.
Oh, good grief.
Victory in the West. It's the French campaign of 1940. It's still in the original shrink wrap.
Good God.
Who's
that by? Is that
sorry?
Is that by Mr. Racer?
No, this is from David James Ritchie. The designer.
The reason I say that is because of the other case one that
Case Yellow. Yep, that's Ted Racer. This one seems to be a kind of a bigger, a little more detailed version. And I was looking for something like, for instance, there's OCS, the Blitzkrieg legend, and that's massive. And I don't want to get into OCS. But I was looking for something a little more detailed in the French campaign. So I picked this one up, but it's kind of neat that it's still like someone kept a copy still in the shrink for,
and they died, and you've got a dead man's copy there.
could be.
Yeah, if I pass away, there's probably 50 boxes that I have still in the shrink.
Yeah, I've got a few. We've all got them. Oh, can I just say as well, William has said, thank you everyone for your lovely birthday wishes, and happy birthday, William, as well. So thank you, everyone.
Nice.
Yes, very nice. It
Jester,
is
what
a great
about yourself?
community. We talk about great things here, and everyone that comes in the chat is very friendly, very polite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's conversations going back and forth. Nobody's very negative. Nobody's being an asshole. Nobody's, trying to screw
I love
somebody
the fact
over.
that we're talking away and they're having their own chat in the chat.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
Sometimes you're like, pay attention, people. It's about us. It's about us.
Give them a smack.
Jester, what about you?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It was a great week.
He likes
it was an exceptionally good week. May 30th, 2022 was the last time I logged into Warframe 3 years ago. And I got into it this week, and now I'm back. I am back. I am so back.
What is it? I saw one. You had 6 hours live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My
so I've got somewhere in the neighborhood of probably like 2,900 hours into this game now. I love this game so much, and it's like the wife now even comes in and she stops complaining about all the games. She's like, "What are you doing playing that game again? What are you doing playing that game again? What are you doing playing that game?"
Those sad people you play them with. Yeah.
She's like, I come to dinner last night. It was last night. And she's like, "Give me your hand." And I gave her my hand, and she's looking at it. And I'm like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a mouse attached to it."
Yeah, I was going to say it's awkward doing dinner with a pad in your hand, isn't it? It's.
So unfortunately, this is exactly why I left it, because it was obsessive. I got to the point where I was like, if I just keep doing this, that's all I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And I'm like, no, I want to do other things. So I took a break and I decided not to go back. And there's been many times I said along the way, maybe I should go back. Maybe I should try it again. And I kept saying, no. This time I said yes. And now show's over at 6 o'clock. I'll be back online at 6:05.
Yeah. But get it out your system and then you can move on,
See, that's the thing. I don't think I'm ever going to get this out of the system. I just don't think so.
Well, it's up to you, you and me, Nate, to keep playing war games so we can call this the War Room.
I mean, we could always send a virus his way and then his computer just won't work. Yeah,
we could.
That's why I've got a spare right there.
We'll keep sending him emails with fishy stuff inside, and he'll click on it, and
yeah. Unfortunately, that's just the way my life is right now. So it's a different animal, but I'm having more fun with it. There is some frustrations, and I would get into it and talk about it sometimes, because we talk about the good and the bad, and all that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about.
There's great with the gaming, and there's also bad with the gaming as well.
Yeah, I know, but look at Christoph. What's he up to? He said, "I don't play for 5 days now. My neighbour's home, and it got busy." What are you trying to tell us?
Oh my God!
What have you been nipping over the fence? What are you doing?
Yeah,
behave yourself.
Maybe we don't want him to say.
Extrapolate on that.
There we go. We can call this the Warframe Room instead of War Room. We can call it the War.
Don't give him ideas, Mike.
Jester, I am still waiting. I am still anticipating the day when
that's nearly a song lyric.
When you finally decide to pull out Atlantic Wall and start playing it.
If I ever did that, there would be. You guys should be calling 911 because I'm probably on my deathbed. So that'd be the last. I did a ranking video of all my game collection, and I think that was in the bottom 5 games that I have. It wasn't the very bottom game, but it was in the bottom 5 games that I have.
Well, do you remember? I think it was last year that Wise Guy History was playing it, and it was on his channel a lot. Yeah. And then there was at one point where, because the rules were all just a mess.
I watched the videos, and all I could hear after a while was like a buzzing in my ears. It was like, crying. Rather you than me.
And there at one point he did a rant video of just how poor the rule book was. And finally, at one point he found out that he had missed a rule that was just so crucial that ruined the whole scenario. And he's like, forget it. I'm done.
Well, maybe that is
felt really bad for him.
A great contender for today's subjects.
I was just going to say that's a great lead-in. That's a great lead-in. Mike wants to know: is there a how many months does it take to disqualify a host for not playing a board game? So if I don't play a board game in a month, am I going to be kicked out? Is the question.
That is actually an interesting question.
I'll put on the naughty step in the yeah. So
yeah, because Ruff and I could have a breakaway kingdom, and have our own, War Room 2.0,
or not the War Room,
Yeah.
You guys wouldn't make it 2 months without me. You guys wouldn't make it 2 months without me. You know that, right?
I'm saying nothing.
Seriously, I am the glue that holds things together. Like it is serious that and I don't mean to be facetious, but it's
you
just
are
my
the
personality. I like things together. So when I moved down here to Florida, 3 weeks after I moved down here, my buddy called me and was like, "Hey, guess what?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I'm getting divorced. My wife left me." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, she just left. She said the only reason she's been together all these years is because of Kirk, and now you're gone." Yeah. So
I think we want to leave that there in case Mrs. Jester is in earshot.
Like a video earlier where a hand comes across and
yeah. Oh yeah. You're not the president of France, are you?
Oh, David, isn't he's up there in the state up north? I think. I
wouldn't be opposed to this.
I think he's in that state up north.
So you're getting a lot of reactions. Yes, but what's his face being slapped by his some say gender fluid wife.
His school teacher.
I know what I'm not. It's just I'm not saying one way.
It's a school teacher.
Yes, yeah. He was shooting it. Sorry, it was 44, and he was 15 when they met. So there we go.
To be honest, when we started this show,
it says moving quickly.
To start this show, you have to be obsessive, right? You have to be obsessive to be on this show. You guys, Nate, you've been on this for a year and a half now, or year and a couple months. So
year and change.
You realize now,
it's a big commitment.
When me and Ruff were looking for people to join, we were trying to find somebody that's going to be able to stay every week and commit to it is going to be super, super hard.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you can do it is to be obsessive in what you do.
And I'm sure the thought crossed both of your minds of how long will he last?
It did actually, because I was thinking, I hope he stays. And I tell you what, after Tony left, I was worried that we couldn't get somebody that would replace, because it's about personality and fitting in and having a laugh. And we are. No, I'm not going to be a bit of a shill here. I'm just saying it. In my opinion, I think that the show has been very lucky finding you. I'll leave it there. It there.
Bless my heart.
No.
Okay. So, we can't have that nonsense in their show. He's gone. He's 66. He's turning 66. He's old. He's senile.
Oh man,
things are just not normal with this dude anymore. When I met him, he was okay. Now it's going downhill every year. It's crazy. Oh, is he back? All right, I guess I'll let him in.
All right. Mrs. Ruff is looking a little askew at you. Agreeing with him. Get out of it.
She agreed with Jester.
Yes, get cheeky.
Oh.
Most people do agree with me, so that's the thing. It is.
Ruff,
most people don't like to do it, but
Ruff, I appreciate your kindness.
No, it said with love and with
of course.
I'm being truthful. Really, we could have done a lot worse.
Hands across the sea and all that.
Yeah, don't get personal.
So, I have something I mentioned in the green room.
Oh, yes.
I thought this would be something I wanted. As soon as I saw it earlier this week, I'm like, I want to share it on the War Room this week of something interesting that's happened in wargaming. that I think is a good thing. But not
Yes,
a
yes.
tyrant.
Many a truer word said in jest.
But I wanted to show
Sorry,
something
thank you, Coy. Thank you, Coy. Sorry,
that I think it's been a good thing in wargaming. It's an interesting development that's happened earlier this week, and I wanted to share that. So I'm going to share my screen.
I'm going to get GameFound up ready.
So let me share this. So,
oh, there you go. I keep looking down at the bottom like it used to come in, but it doesn't come in the bottom anymore.
ID Tyrant.
Oh,
so
ID Tyrant, great name.
There is a game, GMT Conquest of Paradise. This empire building in Polynesia, circa 500 AD, and this game came out originally, I believe, in
2016.
2007.
Oh, crikey! This
was the deluxe second edition that came out in 2016. Then there was at some point in, I think it was 2022, that a third printing or third edition or whatever you want to call it was put on the P500, and that's not bad.
That's nice. Thank you. Yeah.
And it was put on the P500, and it kind of languished there for a couple of years. It only got to around 171 P500s.
Sorry to interrupt. Was there another one in this series? Because I remember this game.
That I do not know.
It's not related to the one that Jester liked playing.
He did Maori Warriors of the Long White Cloud from Compass.
No, must be that one. Oh, right. I remember it. Yes.
He's recently done Banish the Snakes from GMT.
Oh, is that him?
Oh, God.
No, that's it. No, right.
And Amateurs to Arms as well from Clash of Arms. So this languished on the P500 for a while, only about 170 some downloads, or excuse me, pre-orders.
Mike, I expect nothing less.
Oh, nice, Mike. But this eventually was pulled from GMT, from the P500, and they gave the rights back to the designer. So the designer then eventually went to a different publisher. And I will share my screen. He went to Phalanx.
Oh no, there's two strike, one more, and you're out. You know,
and Phalanx.
Are you kidding me? Oh,
Phalanx completely redid the graphics and the layout of the game and everything. I will share what the box cover looks like.
Yes. I have seen this. The penny didn't drop when I saw this.
But I will say this, for a war game where the original box art, I personally did not care for it. It was just a painting, it was a plain, almost looked like it was kind of like a book. It could have been a book.
I want to know why they decided to put it in a shoebox though.
Well, there is a reason why, and I'll show you in a second. But this artwork here is very good. It's very thematic. It captures the theme. It's very, very, very good.
I'm glad. Can I just interject there? The reason I didn't pay much attention to it, even though I recognize it now you said it, is that it looks like a Euro game.
Ah, okay. Which I would say, and this was something I was thinking about actually mentioning, was I think this is a great example of how Euro games can positively influence war games, because war games, particularly in its artwork, can be very functional, but there's a lot of what I would call a lot of stuff, but not a lot of fluff. And particularly for people who are more artistically minded, who are younger, who are interested in things. Okay, that artwork can really pull you in to a theme. Artwork really does something unique that it like a friend of mine told me once. He said, you could have the greatest game ever, but if you have bad artwork, nobody's going to know that it's a good game.
Plantagenet.
So this is now this currently. So I'll stop sharing this, and I will then share.
I tell you what, while you're waiting for that, having a little pop at Phalanx is a little unfair. I mean, the one you've got, those games didn't appeal to me, but Purple Haze has gone down, and by Phalanx has gone down very well with people. I've got it. Can't wait to play it. It looks very good. So yeah,
that's right. Yeah, Nordic. Yeah. So that's I like using the phrase "fluff and stuff." That you got to have. I love that war games have all this stuff in it, and it's great. They do. War Games does an amazing job of really digging you into the historical theme and getting you pulled in, but there's not a lot of fluff, and you got to have some fluff with the stuff to make it more interesting. I know it sounds odd, but look at this currently where it's on GameFound, that because of it's still a niche theme, it's still a niche topic, but look how many backers it has now. It has 1,011 backers, where for 2 years it sat on the P500 with only 170 some odd.
Do you think because it's been rebranded as a board game rather than a war game? So there are many more board gamers out there. We know that.
This has now been branded as a 4X game.
Right.
Read at the top. It says Conquest of Paradise, a game of discovery, expansion, and ambition set in the sweeping blue of the Polynesian Triangle.
There's only one E in that, anyway, or X anyway. Yeah.
There is, well, exploitation, expansion, Okay. But just look at the new artwork that's in here. That the tiles, the way the tiles are, the board is actually it's a double-sided, I think it's a mat that rolls up. And so I think that's why it's in a longer box, is because to roll up the mat. But it's right now, it's the number one hottest game on BGG.
There's some good comments, and I know people might be of a certain age, but Paul's saying artwork has never persuaded me. How many are war gamers? How many are actual war gamers that have bid on this or pledged on this?
That's fine. William. Yes, I saw that box and I thought I want to play that game.
Yeah, the VUCA one looks good. Yes, I must admit.
It's something where we know the phrase.
Was it Dave? Right.
We know the phrase, and that's fine if people want to disagree with me. That's perfectly fine.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't make anybody right, does it?
Well, no. I appreciate people giving me their comments there, but I would say something to the effect of that. We've heard the phrase "Don't judge a book by its cover."
No,
we've heard the phrase "Don't judge a book by its cover." But in reality, we know that when you go into a bookstore, you're going to judge a book by its cover. The cover looks interesting. I'm going to pick up the book. And so it is about getting people at least into the door to look at the game more carefully. If they're going through a web page and they're going through a pre-order page and they're seeing, drab after drab box cover, and then all of a sudden one hits them. Ooh, that looks interesting. Let me go look at that. You're more likely to get someone to actually purchase or pre-order that if they spend a little more time looking at it, as opposed to, it's all the same, all the same, all the same. I mean, in wargaming, there are some designers where it doesn't matter what they put out there. People are going to buy it because they already know who they are. They already know who the designer is. They know they like that. They like the designer. They like what they make, things like that. But we're talking, there's not that many out there that are just insta buys for people. Like Mark Simonich, whatever Mark Simonich makes, I'm on board. I like Mark Simonich.
He could put a dead frog in a box and people would buy it.
Right. And he's a great designer, and his artwork is actually really good too. But I really like him. But for some games, especially on more niche topics that are not really well known, or really may or may not be necessarily something that a more general audience might be interested in, then you can really drive more people into it by having the game look better.
I tell you what, it does influence me. The games by Worthington, the revamped games by Worthington with the new artwork and the new, I've got a couple of those. I've got of course, the Cruel Necessity, and I've got the Malta Besiege. Fantastic games, fantastic to look at as well. Pleasure to play. So I get what you're saying. The other thing is, of course, I saw those shields up and I thought, ooh, no, that's not going to be solo friendly.
It's a Euro game. It's a Euro game.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
It looks like it plays a Euro game.
Yeah, if Euro games is your thing, great. I've got nothing against it. It's just not for me, I don't think.
Right. And Tony, I would generally agree with Tony that the GMT P500 and comparing that to GameFound is a different comparison, because GameFound is it's a lot bigger. There's a bigger audience there, so that I understand why Phalanx goes to that.
Yeah, that's do mainly by the sort of Ameritrash or Euro games, and I've got a few of them.
Right,
Nemesis and Stalker and
right,
Hexplore. They're great games.
Yep. The thing I was wanting to point out is just how much, by looking at, if you look further down in the GameFound, you see that a bunch of YouTubers, board game YouTubers, were already given the game to look at and made videos on. So there was an audience out there. They were making noise about the game, whereas unfortunately, like, not a lot of new stuff that comes out. I don't see a lot. It's really, a lot of it is incumbent upon, individual people to go out and ask about a new GMT game, things like that.
I think we've had this discussion in the past.
We have.
Yeah, and it's a valid point that, and that's why, again, I think it's going to appeal to board gamers, because they ask board gamer YouTubers who have some have massive, amounts of people watching them, to look at it. And of course, that's going to sort of self-perpetuate. Whereas the smaller war game companies, we think of GMT and that they're still smallish, compared. I could.
Even looking at the number on GameFound of the number of backers, 1,000 is not large by regular board game standards, but it's massive compared to what the game was doing before.
Yes, agreed.
And I think it has in large part to do with that the game itself has been revamped, been upgraded. It looks modern.
Or maybe, playing devil's advocate, that when it was on GMT P500, it didn't appeal to war gamers.
True. It could be.
And that's why they didn't get the amount of peeps. Now they've gone outside that, and good luck to Kevin and Phalanx, of course. I hope he's a bit more sort of cuddly when people start asking questions and commenting about, don't understand.
So wasn't this the guy that decided to have a rant because somebody was asking questions about his game? And
I think Tony had a little bit of
I did not know this. I did not know.
Yeah, that was the
Tony did a playthrough out the goodness of his heart, and I think it was Kevin that come back and said, "You don't understand the game. You're not playing it." It's like, well, that's not my fault then, is it? Like, I've had that experience as well with that other game that about. The guy said,
"Well, forgive me of my ignorance of that.
No,
I did not know.
Nobody's right. Nobody's wrong.
I was merely judging it from its artwork and new artwork, and then how it's doing currently.
And I wish it luck. I don't think it's for me.
There's a lot that goes into this discussion, to be honest.
Jester, if you pull up Dragon X's comment, I think it's his is very good. And look at something like Europa Universalis. Super complex game, but it did well because there was a video game behind it, but the video game came from a board game anyway. But still, that game did and still does very well because the art plays a big part in it. Like, every card has unique art on it. and there's like 700 cards in the game. The board is a piece of art itself. Like it's a game that you enjoy looking at. And if you're going to spend hours playing this, then you want to have something really nice to look at.
Of course.
So I think that's a good point.
What I was going to say is there's a lot of factors that go into finding out how a game is going to be successful or not, because again, a lot of the Euro gamers get pre-release copies, they put it on their channel, they generate the hype train rolls, and then a lot of people pre-order it, blah blah blah. When's the last time GMT did a pre-order? Gave a game away and did a pre-order and let somebody show it off ahead of time.
And let people.
We were very lucky to get like Wolfpack and Mr. President
but
and
a few other
games.
With GMT, sorry to interrupt before I forget what I'm saying because I'm getting old. Is that unlike sort of the big game companies, board game companies, before it even comes to print, they get printed copies to send out to YouTubers because they can afford to do that. Whereas when I get, say, from VUCA, I might get it 2 or 3 months before the game comes out because they've ordered half a dozen of these things and they send them out to.
Right.
And I'm lucky enough up till now to get copies. That's how we do it, and I put it on the channel, do an unboxing, show people what it's about. But most game companies can't do that. They've got to wait for the stuff to come in before they send it out to the reviewers or to the YouTubers.
Yeah.
So
they print it all, they ship it out to their customers, and they hope enough people get word of mouth out there. And I mean, the last time I saw GMT publish like an advertisement on Board Game Geek or something, I mean, it's very rare you ever see anything like that. It's wargaming companies can do a much better job with getting the information out there. There's tons of people out there. If they send them their game, they would play it and show it off, and they would get a lot more interest.
Well, VUCA are doing that to as much as they can because they've got their new game outs, and IO is on their webpage, but it's not out yet.
I'll share the new St. Lo box cover for people.
Yeah, there. Look at that. Look,
and as soon as I saw it, I thought I want to buy it. I want to play it.
Same here. And you've got to remember that Patrick is a graphic designer as well. He's got his other graphic designers. He's very lucky with the people around him. But yeah, that's all they can do. It's not done yet. And I'm hoping, as soon as the copies arrive, he sort of air flights in half a dozen, 10 copies that cost him an exorbitant amount of money, so he can send them out to YouTubers who he wants to, preview it for him, Zilla or myself or whatever, so we can get a first dibs on it and show it before it's released so people can get their pre-orders in. That's VUCA are the only people that do that. GMT don't do that. They wait for the stuff to come in, and then reviewers are often the last people to get it because they want to send it out to their customers, which is fair enough.
Which my whole goal was to show in the Conquest of Paradise, and even now this VUCA one, is to show that when more attention is given to how, since wargaming is really good on getting the guts, it's really good on getting, mechanics and things like that done really well. When wargaming works a little bit more on artwork, then you really see something take off, that it begins to attract people who may or may not necessarily be interested in wargaming in the first place, but because the game looks cool from an art design, then you can get them into more cool mechanics. Whereas it's the opposite problem in Eurogaming. Eurogaming looks really nice and fluffy and great colors and great artwork, but sometimes a lot of times the games that are out there just suck in terms of their mechanics. There's no guts there. It's all fluff and no stuff. And in wargaming, it's all stuff with no fluff. And it's much easier to go from a position where you have solid games to adding a little bit more flash to it than it is to try to actually get good mechanics and good things that Eurogaming is struggling with right now, I think. And I think that's why we're seeing generally speaking, I think that's why we're seeing Euro games are not doing as well as they did before, because people are starting to see that the games aren't really there. There is nothing there. It's just a mini and a cool box and things like that. And it's not really a game.
What are CCs?
Content creators.
Oh, right. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I can't
a lot of people.
I
mean, that's the thing. It's like, oh, I do an unboxing. I show off what's inside the box, and it's great. But a lot of people are like, I want to see what the game is like, how to play the game. And a lot of content creators are so busy with their schedules and everything else.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, you're quite right. I mean, I get them in. I've got to try and slow down because I haven't got any room. But yes, I'll at least do an unboxing, and then I'll get round to it. That, like, for instance, A Glorious Chance. Legion sent that to me, did an unboxing, had a great review, and I want to play it, but it's getting it into the queue. It's awkward. I mean, I don't do this as I might be able to now as a full-time blooming thing, whereas some people can just, that's all they do. They I think Zilla's a bit like that. He has probably more time than I do to actually do it.
Sure. Well, that's someone commented GMT, and it's true. GMT is doing much better. And I think they're leading the way. Them and VUCA are leading the way in wargaming of creating better art. Look at something like the Plum Island Horror, Herman's game.
Yeah.
That game I've not played it, but from listening to you all, watching it and seeing it, seems like it's a solid game. But that artwork in there really, really
makes that one, game. Like you said, the 10 cents comic. It's that vibe. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, because everything, he's got a theme, and then everything in that game supports that theme. And it's just, I think it's brilliant.
It's all about views. Like I could sell a game, and I could sell like 5 million copies of it, but I would have to get my game out to everyone in the world to see it. Like that's, of everyone in the world, like maybe 1 in 100 would buy it, or 1 in 1,000 would buy it, or whatever it is. Like, so that's the way GMT is. It's like, if GMT was able to get their games out in front of people, more people would probably buy them if they would spend the time and effort to put that out there. But again, it's a resource you got to spend money on. You got to have a person to do that. Yep. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not
you're
simple.
Right.
What's that?
Christoph is right. Flying Pig is doing better. A Most Fearful Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yep. And there are some content creators that will do playthroughs and stuff like that. I've done many playthroughs on my channel, and
yeah, I'll try and do them.
My channel's only got 5,000 people. If I had 500,000 people, that makes a big difference.
Even Lonely Me did a playthrough video once.
Which game?
France 1944.
Oh, nice.
I did an example of play for it.
Nice.
Yeah. So even me, I've contributed to it. You'd be so proud, Jester.
I'm proud of everyone.
Yes. So what I was going to say was that, yes, we like to do the playthroughs. I'm going to try and do as many as I can for especially the games I've been sent, but it might be I've only got a set amount of time. So also I might have to veer off the 10 game thing to do that. Do I do that, or do I,
I think
I better play Thomas's game, or I better play Mirage's.
I think Potato Kings, I think he's spot on. Spot on.
Yeah, it is like a book. You go, oh, this looks interesting. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, a great example of that is Mr. President. Mr. President was on GMT P500, and it did, reasonably well on the P500. 2,000 people, 2,500, whatever it was. But as soon as it was released and people saw it, and people got to witness what it was, it immediately sold out and became like the top third. It was like the third highest game on Board Game Geek because it was being talked about. People were, word of mouth, and, oh, hey, let's play Mr. President and blah, blah, blah. That's how games sell. That's exactly how games sell. If GMT would have, bought, if they would have printed, 10,000 copies as opposed to 5,000 copies, they would have made twice as much money, but they didn't know that the interest was going to be out there.
Or Atlantic Chase.
Yeah.
Atlantic Chase is another exactly.
Well,
I think that's a good looking game. I mean,
maybe with Pacific Chase, people will cotton on. I'm going to make sure I get this one this time.
Yep. I mean, I would say, like for Atlantic Chase, I would slightly critique the game in that I'm not necessarily totally sold on the box cover, in where you have this 2 bands of just blue, and then you have a really nice, cool painting.
That would have been nice to be.
It should have been like the whole thing.
Well, compare that to Mike's Wolfpack as a box cover.
It's great. It's great. And I think and Mike's game, I just because we're friends with Mike, I don't want to
No, I'll tell him it's crap if I have to.
Right. But I will say for Wolfpack, like the way that the artwork contributes to your experience in a great way, it does it really, really well. I mean, even something as simple as where you turn on the blue light or the red light, like it doesn't really mean anything, but it does. It adds a little bit more in there, and you had the little light counter
because you watch Das Boot, and they put the red light on, and it's great. Yes, okay, Mike.
Like you said, there's a lot that goes into it. There's how many people see it, how many people are playing it, how much does it cost, how availability is it? Like, there was Atlantic Chase. Like we had mentioned Atlantic Chase on this channel
many times,
3 weeks in a row, and then all of a sudden it was sold out, and then we're like, sorry guys, we've been trying to tell you guys for weeks to go get
the best
game.
We can. We are a niche within a niche, so we do what we can with our few subscribers and our reach. But whereas board gamer content creators like Shut Up and Sit Down got a huge reach, but then they're in that realm of being paid to do stuff and paid to shill for that because they've got $1,000 to do open the box or whatever. I don't know, whatever. So we're a different type of thing, but we do what we can.
I would say though, customer and players are very good at finding out and realizing that someone who, let's say, a content creator is being paid to play and review a game that they don't like. You can tell watching the video that they're not into it, that they don't like it. And so I would say, despite getting paid, I think people are still able to figure that out. And whether or not a game is good or not.
Yeah. Well,
I don't get paid.
That's a discussion for another day because you have like really popular Euro games that sold thousands and thousands of copies, and then it releases and the game is crap, and now you can pick them up for $10 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's how you get the hype train going ahead of time. If you get the hype train going ahead of time, now GMT is on the other end. GMT is like, we release the game and hope it sells because it's a great game. And that's why Nate said earlier, most war games are really, really good. And they have to be really, really good because they're not getting a lot of people to buy them ahead of time. So you have to hope and pray that the games are really, really good when they release. Euro games are the exact opposite. Euro games, they get all the money up front and then they release the game and they don't care, whatever.
Millions in some cases.
Yeah.
Nordic, thank you. Yes. Well, that's the little bits we do. We play the games, you buy it. Where's my commission?
And I mean, like I said earlier, I think with wargaming, that when wargaming starts to be more mindful of its art direction and how art can contribute to making those solid mechanics even more greater and more immersive for the player and like that, I think you start to see those kind of games begin to not only sell out really well for war gamers, but they also are able to break through to more general audiences. Like think like going back again, Wolfpack Okay. Not many, my understanding, outside of, say, the Hunters, there's really not big submarine games out there. That and U-Boot.
Also, don't forget, although it's a different game, I know Mike doesn't like it very much, but of course you've got Silent War, but you're controlling the whole Pacific Fleet of submarines. It's a very deep and long game.
Right.
But yes.
Except I wouldn't put Silent War, forgive me, but I wouldn't put Silent War in a good-looking game.
No. I mean, the box art is it looks like something from the 90s. You know, it's but yeah, I wanted it because of the subject.
It's also about the amount of views and people doing it. Like, we all know the Stuka Joe is the one war gamer out there with the great setup.
We all try.
I know it, and I'm not even. I know at least 20 Euro gamers that have a setup like Stuka Joe does. There's only like one Stuka Joe that does the wargaming stuff. I mean, Hissy Cat does a really good job. You know, there's a lot of guys doing good jobs, but there's not like professional quality stuff out there.
We do the best we can with what we got.
Right, exactly. And that's what we do. We do the best we can with what we got. And that's
but I keep saying this.
But it's also not as good as when you see these professionally done things that other companies are getting done.
I mean, sorry, I keep saying this, but Stuka Joe's for the reason I do what I do. He's the guy that got me into this, you know, because he did a video years ago about, you want to become a YouTuber, you know, and he gave advice, and I thought, yeah, that's the man. The other guy that it does that, even though he uses all computer graphics, it's very professional, is Poindexter. Is you know, does some great stuff, but again, completely different to Stuka, you know, to Joe. But they're both professional looking things.
Okay,
yeah, I mean, I think we might have a different
thing with artwork. Like everyone,
it's very subjective.
Artwork very differently. Some people
will
go, "Oh my God, that is ugly." Other people will go, "That is great. I love that artwork." I don't like cartoony kind of you know, non-realistic artwork. I like the realistic type of artwork, but other people are probably like, no, I hate that kind of artwork.
I'll give you an example. Ruff's gonna really hate this. I don't
remember it's my birthday tomorrow. Treat me gently.
Oh, well, but it's not today, so it's
yeah, you're still 65.
That's right. Is that Combat?
Zilla does have a good setup too. That
is true.
I mean, I try to do the best I can with my stuff. You know, I have to zoom in and do it all physically and manually. And that's why they take so long. So I do the best I can, you know.
But like, for instance, like you said, art is very subjective. But I will say, like, for a person like me, like when I look at Combat, any of the volumes, all of the box art looks terrible to me.
Yeah, I get you.
Black and white picture with just the name and 2 yellow bands on it.
I get you.
Looks terrible to me. Maybe I'm sure it's a fantastic game. I've heard
it's sold out. It must be. It's sold out.
Oh yeah, I've watched many times of it. It looks interesting. I probably might get it someday. But
again, as a war gamer, you look through that because Dave Gaming Cave did it and other people did it, and you look through and you think, oh, this is man on man. I don't care what the blooming box looks like or what the map. I can live through them because I play Eastern Front bloody Panzer Grenadier with the Marmalade maps, you know. So it's not a great thing. I can look through. It's great when I get, and again, you know, things like Cruel Necessity. The map on that is very contemporary looking. The counters are fantastic. So yeah, it looks great. It's going to be a pleasure.
And this is part of, and it kind of, to me, it like my argument has always been like, look at Combat as an example of fantastic game. It's got amazing guts to it as a game, but the artwork I don't think is very good. Now I know people are going to disagree with me. I can't, but think about it. If that artwork was a little bit better, a little bit more flashier, okay, great game, but a little bit better artwork, how much better would it do?
I don't know. That's subjective.
That
isn't it? I
is
don't
a
know.
great topic for your next time on the War
Yeah.
Room.
Yeah.
Nate. Thank
It's
you.
doing very well as it
So,
is. And I think the new
it
one,
is.
the bridge, the Arnhem one,
That's right.
doing incredibly. But
That's right.
You know what you're getting, at least.
That's right. Oh yeah, Dragon X. Yeah, that's what I'm meaning. The whole
Rough
thing.
no.
So.
If you
Thank you,
finish,
Squiggy. Got there in the end, matey.
Nate, did you join when he started that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's taken over a year to do it.
He's going to go.
That's how weird my life has been this last year, but we finally done it, and now things are back on track.
And we're getting yelled at by where is it? Was looking through the chat here. Coy was telling us it's time for British history. There it is. There it is.
God.
There it is. Mission British History Month. So
let me first say before we start is that I know I had a little my argument and everything is perfectly fine. If it's a very subjective thing, I love talking to everyone about it, and I love hearing all kinds of different points about it because that's something I want to continue to hear. I like to listen and think about. Then that's why I mention it, so that there's a lot of different ideas come in because I want to hear what's really going on in the war game world, and that's why I mention these things because I want to hear from everyone here on what they think.
And that's what makes America great. You see, where it used to over here be easy to say, we've got to be a bit careful what we say now. But yes, joking apart, yeah, nobody's right. It's all opinions, and that's what makes this thing so much fun to do.
Except him, he's always right,
of course, and we have to bow to that
because he's the tyrant.
You don't have to bow to it; you just have to know that I'm always right. That's all you have to. You just admit it, and when I'm wrong, you let me know. And until that time, let's hear about British history. I know one British history. There was a lady going, "Oh my God, will this kid ever get out of here?"
What was it to do with tanks or something?
No, your mom.
Back to me birthday.
Will this kid ever get out of here?
No, evidently, like my son, I think I was what we call a cough drop. She coughed and dropped, and it's
really.
Yeah, Ollie was like that. Yeah. If you ever meet Mrs. R, ask her. Yeah, why we call him cough drop. Yeah.
All right, British history. Let's go.
Right, sorry, here we go. Starting off at 12:23, sort of nearly half past midday, the Mongol invasion of the Cumans, the Battle of Kalka River. Mongol armies of Genghis Khan, led by Subutai, defeat Kievan Rus and the Cumans. And if you want to play that game or that battle, it's here in Devil's Horseman. There we go. We always like to try and link it with a proper game. We whiz forward to 1775, the American Revolution. The Mecklenburg Resolves are adopted in the province of North Carolina. The Resolves proclaim that all laws derived from the authority of the king or parliament are annulled and vacated, and that the provincial government under the Great Continental Congress is invested with all legislative and executive powers, and that no other legislative or executive does or can exist at this time in any of these colonies. And you think, blimey, that means they don't want anything to do with us. But no. Similar lists of these resolves were issued by other local colonial governments at that time, none of which called for independence from Great Britain. The Mecklenburg resolves left the door open for reconciliation, for it to be discussed.
Reconciliation.
That's the reconciliation. That's the word. Thank you. If Parliament were to resign its unjust and arbitrary pretensions with respect to America, in which case the resolutions would no longer be enforced. So we had a chance there. Although a display of defiance, The Mecklenburg Resolves were not by any means a declaration that the people of Mecklenburg County were free and independent of the crown. I didn't know that. So there was a chance there. They left the door open, and there was a chance if we'd got down to discussions, you'd still be singing God Save the King. But no, that was not to be. 1805. French and Spanish forces begin the assault against British forces occupying Diamond Rock in Martinique. I might have mentioned this before. I'm not sure. Let me get this picture up.
Is this a plane?
No, there's no planes this year. I'm afraid, or this week. I'm afraid. So how do we go? Where do we go? We've got to get this up, haven't we? So which one do I do? Share screen. There we are. Window, there, go. That is Diamond Rock. If you get that up for me.
Click on it. There you go.
Look at the size of it. And the Spanish and the French were going to assault that. Now, let's have a look at, let me get this up. There's the British on Diamond Rock. The reason that they wanted to invade is that it occupied a strategic position at the north end of the St. Lucia Channel, and possession of the rock permits interdiction of navigation between Martinique and its southern neighbour, St. Lucia. Now, let me show you how small that is, this rock. It is small. Here's a map of Martinique, and down here, I don't even you can see.
There it is.
There's a little dot. Let me sort of zoom in a bit and move that up there. There it is. It's tiny.
Very.
But the French and the Spanish wanted that because it was, a bit like Gibraltar. It was strategically placed. So that happened today. What else we got going? 1838. The last battle on English soil took place at the Battle of Bosenden Wood between armed soldiers and 40 agricultural peasants. They were led by flamboyant Cornish wine merchant Sir William de Courtenay, and people had trouble with that because we had the Courtenays in the Men of Iron battle last night, and were protesting against the poverty of their lives.
I'm not sure if I'd count that as a battle.
Well,
I mean, I've
armed military against somebody. I think that's.
I've always heard and have thought that 1745 in Culloden was the last battle on British soil.
Well, should we say the last conflict, the last sort of
armed resistance?
Armed resistance, yes, on the English soil. Anyway, I haven't done it yet. Lock and load, everyone.
Lock and load.
Lock and load.
Where are we? 1862. Information obtained from Thaddeus S.C. Lau's balloon observation saves Union forces from defeat at the Battle of Fair Oaks. That's also called Seven Pines, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In Virginia. During the U.S. Civil War, Union General George McClellan, who's loved by everyone, is warned by Lau of Confederate General Albert Johnson's approaching troops. And 1902, the Peace of Vereeniging ended the Boer War, in which British casualties numbered 5,774 killed and 16,000 deaths from disease. That's so the disease in those times, like in the Civil War, most deaths were from wounds that went septic and disease and all that sort of thing. Against 4,000 Boers killed. Sorry, Nate.
It's crazy.
Yeah. More people were killed by disease and wounds than actually killed by a bullet. But 4,000 Boers were killed as well. And then 1911, not anything to do with warfare, but the White Star liner Titanic was launched at Belfast. At the ceremony, a White Star Line employee claimed not even God himself could sink this ship. That hasn't worn well, is it? So
No.
there we go. And then whizzing forward to 1916, a few years later, the Battle of Jutland, in which the Royal Navy lost 1 battleship, 1 cruiser, and 5 destroyers. The Germans lost 1 battleship, 1 cruiser, and 1 destroyer. At the end of May, 2,545 men had been killed. And then 1942, World War II, Imperial Japanese Navy midget submarines begin a series of attacks on Sydney, Australia. From 31st today to the 8th of June 1942, Imperial Japanese Navy submarines made a series of attacks on the Australian cities of Sydney and Newcastle. Don't panic, Aussies. It didn't go very well. On the night of the 31st to the 1st of June, 3 Koi Hyoteki class midget submarines designated M14, M21 and M24, each with 2-member crew, entered Sydney Harbour, avoided and the partially constructed Sydney Harbour anti-submarine boom net, and attempted to sink Allied warships. 2 of the midget submarines were detected and attacked before they could engage any Allied vessels. The crew of M14 scuttled their submarine, whilst M21 was successfully attacked and sunk. The crew of M21 killed themselves. These submarines were later recovered by the Allies. The 3rd submarine attempted to torpedo the heavy cruiser USS Chicago, but instead sank the converted ferry HMAS Kutabul, killing 21 sailors. This midget submarine's fate was unknown until 2006, when amateur scuba divers discovered the wreck off Sydney's northern beaches. And then lastly, 1962, Albert Eichmann, the architect of the Yahtzee Holocaust, was hanged in Israel for his crimes against humanity. And there's, in my opinion, the best 2 films to watch. Operation Finale with Ben Kingsley, 2018. Not absolutely historically correct, but a good film to watch. And then a sort of docu drama, The Eichmann Show in 2015, which is uses a lot of documentary footage and Martin Friedman and that. Very good to watch. So that's it today, 31st of May.
Very cool.
Yes, that is very cool. Yes, they just they just found the last one a few years ago. That's crazy that happened. All right. Nate's notes time, I believe.
Okay. Well, today is a great, every week is a great book, but this week in particular is an especially good book. This is on a subject that there are games on in wargaming. I would say there's not many. Probably should be more. But I do know that there's one game in particular that has some of the battles in it that I think Ruff was excited to get this game not too long ago. So this book is called The Peloponnesian War by Donald Kagan. This is actually one of the best single accounts, like a single book on the entire 30-year conflict by an amazing ancient Greek historian. Donald Kagan is perhaps one of the best ancient Greek historians.
Yes, the keyboard player of Steely Dan. Yeah. No, sorry, I'm getting confused.
But amazing book. And if you're looking for a game on it, well, there is, of course, there's.
See, we love they love it when we do that, Nate. When we
Mr. Herman's
talking about
game on it, the Peloponnesian War. But Ruff, I was thinking of Hoplite.
Yes,
you have Hoplite.
I have Hoplite, yes.
And I believe there are some battles of the Peloponnesian War in there, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
You're asking me to see, look, I've got this pile here. You see, this is what I have to contend with.
Oh, look what he's got.
Yeah.
But yes, everybody, this is a fantastic book if you're looking for it. Okay, let's see. Anywhere in the 430s to 400.
Well, it's the Greco-Persian age in the fifth, 4th century, but it doesn't actually show me any.
I could
normally have a list on the back, but there's no list.
Well, let's look it up in BGG then.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this because the hoplites, as I keep saying, if you move them too many spaces, you can't stop them. They go bonkers and just carry on. Doing a crashing into.
There's one battle in there, Delium, the Athenians versus the Boeotians in 424 BC, in Hoplite.
Yeah.
But yes, excellent book, fascinating war to look at, Athens versus Sparta, and because of the devastation that the conflict between these two city-states wrought on southern Greece, really depleted all their resources, their manpower, to the point where when Macedon up north came knocking on their door, couldn't really do much. And so this helped lead to the rise of Macedon as the major Hellenistic now, because they weren't Greek, Hellenistic power in that world. So Macedon was always kind of they weren't Greek. The Greeks considered the Macedonians sort of barbarians because the Macedonians had been fighting the barbarians for so long up north. But the Macedonians loved Greek culture. They loved the Greek language, and they were kind of like the kid in the back of the room wanting to join the cool kids up front.
Wasn't that also ran person Alexandria Macedonian?
Yes.
Yeah, they ruled the day. They dissed Macedonia, didn't they? Eh?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. The Greeks did not. The Athenians, Spartans, the Boeotians, the Thebans, all of them did not like the Macedonians. But the Macedonians loved them. They loved Greek culture.
They loved, yes, like us with curries.
Ooh, Nordic, good question. Which side do I favor in the Peloponnesian War? I would have been.
Have you played it yet?
Yeah, I played it. I favor the Athenians. Just because I've been to both Athens and Sparta, but Athens just is fascinating to me. Who knows what the world would have been like if Athens had won the Peloponnesian War. We'll never know. But yeah,
the Andrew Mike's trying to be flash and using dingbats. Look.
No, that would be Greek.
Yeah, that's Greek. Yamas. That's the
only
word I know, and that means lock and load.
All right, time for Jester's Gems, and I've been doing this series thinking about all the games that we don't talk about very often, the games that nobody knows about, and there's one game that stands above all other games when it comes to the games that nobody talks about, nobody knows about.
Is it a BBG?
No, from our channel right here. It's kind of been a thing that we've talked about now because of the issue we had when we were talking about. I got to switch over to the right thing. The best game out there that no one ever talks about.
There may be a reason for that.
Tide of Iron. Look at that.
The last time that we talked about it, we lost somebody on the channel.
Oh my God. What a great game this is. This is a gem that nobody knows about. Why does nobody know about
We've gone down from 70 watching to 32.
This is an awesome game. And talking about trying to get people to play Euro gamers, trying to play your war games. This is a war game, Hex Encounter. It has a lot of the, attacks, defense, maneuvering.
Mike, I tell you what, Jester, if it's such a great game, put it on the channel. Explain, show us how good a game.
I have played it on the channel. I played it last June 6th. I played a scenario, D-Day
that's
scenario.
how much it's been remote. Get it out there again.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at it. It's hex encounters.
Yeah, Nordic's gone. Look,
You
they're
get
all
to
in.
build your little squads. You got cards that you can play to activate to do their special things, special abilities. Building your little bases and your little squads are pretty nice because you have to you get all your units and then you got to put them on the base.
Wake me up when he's finished.
Awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Wake me up.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at this. I don't think we got
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ah, you're killing me. You're killing me.
Mind you, that's what I used to do when they used to talk sports games. I used to get a book out, but now I'm a convert. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Well, go ahead, Jester.
All right. Well, that was that. Glad we all
moving
enjoyed
along.
that
Nothing
a
to see
lot.
here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're going to go on and talk about this subject today. Today's subject is, when do you decide that's it? I'm done with this game. Good or bad, like Farnley, maybe you played it 12 times and you're finally like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to have to break away from it. So let's see if we can find out and use other people as references to find out, like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll use what Nordic said, or maybe I'll use what Christopher says, or maybe I'll use what Nate says, and maybe I'll use what. No, I would never use what Ruff says, but so when do you decide to pull the pin and say, okay, I'm done. And I will start because it's my subject and I'm the host and I can mute y'all.
And the tyrant.
And I'm in charge. I'm the king, right? I will start and I will say, here's the first thing.
He's the tater.
I will destroy the game, get rid of it. I don't care where I'm at when I'm frustrated. Frustration is my number one enemy. When I'm frustrated, I don't care anymore. I will just get rid of the game. So whatever you're doing in the game, don't frustrate your players, because your players will get very frustrated and then put it away. So that's my number one bigaboo, is I will put a game away as soon as I get frustrated. And
I'll tell you
a lot of things that can frustrate me. But
that's reminding me of a game over here called Frustration. You had it over there. It had the bobbly thing with the dice in it. You pushed it down and it sort of popped up and threw the dice. Basically, Ludo.
Sorry?
No. Had a little dome with the dice in it. And you popped it.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's Frustration over here.
Is it really?
Yeah. Great.
And you move the little thing up, and then
it's like Ludo.
You send them back to their little
Ludo. Yeah.
Quarters. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry has a 4.6 on BGG.
There you go. It's a good game. Good game.
So that's my first bugaboo. I've got other ones to talk about, but my first bugaboo is, if I get frustrated, I get very.
It's trouble.
I don't want to put up.
Oh yes, trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nate, what about you, man? What do you got?
They're all saying trouble. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I decide to quit a game even before I've started. I pull the game off the shelf and I look at it like, no, and I put it back.
I think what people want to know is what makes you do that. What mental things are going on? You think, no, even before you set it up, maybe. Yeah.
Right. I think sometimes it involves.
I'm trying to get extra content here.
I see. I think sometimes for me, in that there's some games that I have where both of you know how much I enjoy the big monster games, the games that there's a lot involved. They're very complex, and sometimes in my mind, I can imagine myself at the table with
examples, please, Squeaky.
With this complex game, big game, and it seems cool in my mind. And then when I go to actually pull out the game and to think through, how long will this take to set up? How long will it take to play, to learn everything? I get intimidated and I put it back. So that would be my first one, is that sometimes I quit on it just because I'm sort of intimidated by the size and time and brain power that's going to be needed to actually play this thing.
Oh, he's in Tenerife. Tweez, he's in Tenerife.
Hey.
He's in Tenerife? Oh, there he is. Yep. Okay.
Ruff,
what about you, buddy?
Let's be a bit positive here. This is a game I had to stop. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit like Warframe. It's Atlantic Chase. I did all the tutorials and I did a playthrough of one of the solitaire games, and I thought should I do another one? Yeah, let's do another. Yeah. No, I've got to carry on and do something else. So that's why I stopped it. Not because I didn't like it, it's because I was going to play through the whole book, but as it is now, one day in the future I can then revisit it. But that's a positive one. I stopped because
is that when you last played it?
Yeah. But there's billions of games have come in since. I want to play it again.
It's been like 4 years.
I know, and it's one of the most watched videos on my channel.
I have no words.
I know you have no words. You have no words because there's lots of games, but that's why I stopped it then. And then things happen, like 100 games turn up between then and now. Well, I think the best thing you can do is to get it on your channel yourself. No, get it on your channel. Get it there. Show me.
Yeah, put it up. Let's see.
Yeah.
Get it going. So another one of my little bugaboos, and I think it was mentioned by somebody earlier, is if I'm setting up a game or putting things out on the table and I can't find the piece, or it's mislabeled, or it's not clearly explained in the rules. Like, I don't like, you guys know, like, I like playing the games. I don't like setting them up. I don't like clipping counters. I don't like sorting things. I want to play the game. So if I'm spending extra time trying to set up the game and I can't find the setup hex because the setup hex is the wrong hex or whatever, because there's some errata, I'm done. I'll just put it away at that point. If I can't set up your game to play the game because it's not right, or it's just difficult, or there's not like set up instructions or something, it gets back into my frustration. I will get frustrated and just quit your game. I won't even put it. There's been several games that I put out on the channel getting ready to play them, and I'm like, okay, I spent 2 hours putting it on the table and I'm taking it all down because I'm just frustrated now. I cannot get it set up. And so if you're a game designer, you're a game manufacturer, make sure your games are able to be set up for your players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's another one of my bugaboos. I will have something positive to say maybe someday. Nate, what about you? You got anything else? What else?
I would say that in a positive one, that if I have a window of time that, whatever day that I have a few hours and I want to play a game and I pull it out and I set it up and I'm not able to get through it all, but I'm able to play a few turns here and there during the allotted time that I have, and I'm enjoying it and I have fun, then I decide I've enjoyed the time that I've allotted and this is great. I enjoy it. Had fun playing this game and I put it away. And because that's all the time that I allotted to play. And so I didn't want to leave it up. I didn't want to leave it sit there because who knows, sometimes my schedule can be where I only have one day or maybe 2 days to play something. And so I don't want it to just sit there for weeks on end. So I play something for a little bit, enjoy it. Okay, this is great. And I put it back.
So you have you've dedicated so many hours, whether it's 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, 20 hours, whatever it is. And then when the time limit comes, you're kind of like, okay, I've had my full of it, and now I've got to get back to work. I've got things to do. I got a family. I got to do whatever. I got to take care of things. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a great reason to put a game away. Right. All right, Ruff, what about you, buddy?
Well, the only time I did that, put a game away, and I was enjoying it, was because we just got a cat. And if you remember Combat and the cat,
I do.
Catgate. Every time I come, it was all over the place. And I think after 3 videos, I thought, I'm putting it away because this blooming cat is, knocking things over. And I wasn't enjoying the game. So that's Cats, yes. I mean, he's much better trained now. A quick no. And he looks at me and goes, and I go, no. And he goes, okay, and walks away. So we've got him trained now.
That's good.
Yeah, that was the only time having Milo, the big fat ginger cat. When he jumps, they're supposed to be lithe, aren't they, cats? When they jump down off something, they're supposed to be all lithe. He goes thunk. He's like huge. He's huge. He's bigger than our dog. And it goes up there and just lays on everything, knocks everything flat. So that's the only reason I stopped the game, much to my chagrin and regret. But it is coming back because it's on my 10-game list. Combat. Cats.
Ooh. Maybe we'll have another cat, Catgate 2.
No, he's well behaved now.
We'll see.
Well,
see, he's going to remember that box. He's going to be
like,
I
leave the back door open.
Yeah.
I still can't leave the back door open and leave the room in case he comes in and goes, oh, I'll just jump on here and have a sleep. Yeah. So that's the only reason I stopped that. Cats. Yeah. And a few in the chat of do sympathize, but bless them.
Yeah, that's for sure. Cats and animals or whatever can definitely be a issue that you're going to have to work around. For sure.
I think Thomas is there. His Seagulls. His cat is always a star of the show.
Yeah, Noctis. Yep. Nordic says cat knocked games all over the place as well. Okay, I've played a couple, not very many. I've gotten to where I played a game and then played it a second time or third time. So I kind of what Nate was saying earlier, but I have a kind of a set schedule. Like I've got this game I'm playing tonight. I'm playing this game tonight. I don't have room to. Where am I going to set this game up? Where am I going to store it? It's not. If it doesn't get played, it's got to be done tonight. Like it got to go right. So like, I have a time, and if it's got to play during that time, if it lasts longer than that time, okay. If like the next day I can come in and finish it up or whatever, but it's just got to go like when the time comes. It just. I cannot keep a game up that long. This doesn't. It takes up too much room. I don't have anywhere to set my keyboard. On my keyboard, I remember France 40 on my table, and I'm putting the keyboard down like very gently, trying to knock any of the counters, to move the counters, because I was going to play it the next day, right?
Hey, we have our first time
John.
Live.
Hey, what is going on? Good to see you.
Did I say that right? Massachusetts.
That's right. You did.
Massachusetts, Nantucket. Nice, John. Welcome, everyone. Say hello to John.
So
I'm I just don't have a lot of space and a lot of, I gotta play in a lot of games, so it's got to come in and go. It's got to go. So it's got to be played in that time.
My next one is, some people have mentioned it, where if I'm playing particularly like an operational level game like France 40 or something like that, or North Africa 41, where I can see where the game is going, and I can see that one side really doesn't have enough time or have enough capability of actually achieving a victory, then I'll just call it and put the game away and go to the next one. So
okay. So you are saying like it gets to a point where it's like, oh, it's over. I mean, it's kind of like when I was taking on Nerd Workshop and I was destroying them so bad. It's like, it's over. It's like, we could play the last 2 turns, but I mean, it's over. What are we going to do? We're just moving things around because I'm going to win. So, I mean,
what I'll say to that is Kabul Commander.
Yeah, the same thing, exactly.
Yeah, where he beat. Yeah, right. I bet he was thinking the same. Oh, I wish he'd just concede. Yeah,
I mean, there are some games out there where you don't really have to play that long, that many turns in to kind of already know. what's going to happen.
You made some bad moves, or
yeah, or like even some scenarios, like for instance, in War and Peace, there's a Austerlitz scenario where it begins in August of 1805 with the French on the Rhine River about ready to invade, and you have to make it to Vienna. And if within a couple of turns, if you're not already have crossed the Danube River and have passed into Bavaria and Austria, then you're pretty much toast. You're never going to make it by the end of the scenario. So you have to win. The French have to win their important battles, like in the first 2 turns, in order to even make it to the end.
That's early on decisions there, isn't it? So what do you do? Mm-hmm. Set it up again and try again, or do you put it away?
Oh yeah, because it's super easy to set up. Yeah, easy to set up.
I mean, that's like with solitaire games. You start playing a solitaire game and you think, no, that ain't going well. So you set it up again.
Look, Ruff. Yeah, Blue Trees. I put a game away once I've worked out.
He's doing it too quick. He's going to get complaints. God, dear, oh dear. Yeah. One day, everybody wants these railway rules.
The people that complain don't pay my check.
So I'll get him all.
When they start paying my bills for me and they start paying me, then they can complain.
Fine. That's the way to keep subscribers, right?
Ruff, you're next.
Oh, I'm just going to say, yeah, like you were saying, if it doesn't work, if it's a solo game, yeah, I'm going to set it up again and try again and set it. And if it keeps going, I'm going to go, let's put that away before I lose me rag, and we'll come back to it another day. But yes, resetting things. The only negative one I've got, and I think I mentioned this before, the only game I've tried to learn and play, and it's a solitaire game, magazine game, maybe that's enough said, but I've never played it since. It's a TIE Bomber game, and Joe Youst doing the graphics. And I think it was in the Decision Strategy and Tactics. Is the Luzon campaign 1945? It's a solitaire game. I've never got my head around it. I can't understand the rules. It might be me, but there's no other playthroughs on YouTube that I can find. So it's like, and I spent hours. It's quite a big setup. And I just couldn't get my head around it. And I had to put it away. And it's such a shame. But is it because it's a magazine game? I don't know. It might be me. But that's the only one I've had to put away because I couldn't understand.
Look at the top. Well, now it's just the third.
Yeah, I stopped a game once Ruff had worked. Yeah. We all sussed that out now, Tweez. All right.
Yeah, we know.
But that's the only game. That's the only game I've stopped playing because I couldn't get my head around it.
Yep. Totally understand that.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. There's always comes a time where
stop talking about Stalingrad Z. All right.
All right. So kind of another one, and I play a lot of different games, and I don't have a lot of time to research the games ahead of time. And I'll go into a game thinking this game is like X, Y, and Z. And then I'll start playing it and I'll realize this is not what I think this game. I thought it was like a card-driven game, but it's not a card-driven game. I don't like this.
Yep.
So I put there's nothing against the game. It's just I'll put a game away if I was assuming the game was going to do something and it did something completely different or played differently than I thought it was going to play. Oh, I thought it was going to have a solo mode and it doesn't have a solo mode. Or sometimes, it just plays differently than I was thinking it was going to play.
Yeah, it didn't do what it said on the tin quite.
Yeah, it's like, 2 to 4 hours. How, this is my bigaboo with I, Napoleon. And I love I, Napoleon. But on the box, I think it says 4 hours to play. I played one turn, and it took me 3 hours. I'm like, there's no way in hell this game is going to get done in 4 hours.
I've yet to play that. I've yet to play
Holy cow, there's no way in hell. Yeah.
See, I'm lucky, unlike you, Jester. I'm lucky I've got the table there. I can set a game up and leave it if I wish. If I was here, I'd be in the same situation as you. It's got to be moved out the way to use the keyboard, use stuff. So I'm lucky in that respect. So I understand what you're saying. In, out,
Yep.
Keep them going. Keep them rotating in and out. Yes.
Yep.
We know.
Yeah, and Christoph, it didn't come in a baggie. It's a magazine game. I've just put it in a baggie. That's it didn't come like this. It's a magazine game.
So my next one is where I'm playing a game and just the graphics and the whole graphic design and everything. I can't make heads or tails of things. Like sometimes I've seen games where stuff's missing on the map, or the terrain effects chart is wrong, it has the wrong graphic on it, or the art and graphic design doesn't pull me in, and it's a struggle to stay immersed and involved in it. And it's just I'm rolling dice and I'm moving things. Like it doesn't actually feel like I'm doing anything. And so I'll bounce out. Whereas on the flip side, we've mentioned this example before, but I remember when you all invited me to play Wolfpack for the first time before it got released. I had never even, at that point, I had just read the page on GMT. I had never watched any videos about it or anything else. So I was really just kind of ignorant about the whole thing. But that one playthrough of it, of the way that the graphic design of how it pulls you into being a U-boat commander, I was sold on that game on that first play. And I wanted to get that game. And so there's an opposite. If it pulls you out, I don't want to play it. If it pulls you in, I want to play it more.
Yeah, I mean, Rufus mentioned Panzer Grenadier and the Marmalade maps, and I feel you, Nate, because I can't look at those Marmalade maps and get excited.
Let me show people what I'm talking about that don't know what I'm talking about.
It gets it to a point where I have to try and find a different game that has some decent artwork in the Panzer Grenadier, because every game has got different artwork, which is another issue.
Thing.
Oh, Missy Cat mentioned something that's important too. Might be pretty, but if it's miscut,
miscut counters,
that bothers me a lot.
Yeah, look.
Ugh.
I know, but you see, I love the game so much that I can look through that and play the game. But yeah, these are the Marmalade maps.
Can you?
Yeah,
When's the last time? When is the last time you sat down and played a game of Panzer Grenadier?
A few years ago, but it's no, don't laugh. It's nothing to do with that. It's
I'm not laughing.
The volume of things.
We're not
because I haven't got time to play it. But when I play it, these maps don't mean a thing. I look through it. Other people can't. That's what I'm saying. Other like yourself, Jesse, you can't, and you, Nate, will go, oh, blimey. But for me, I'm looking through it because I'm playing the game, and the game is great. And I need to get
that's
back
what they should have called it. Stuka's got it right there.
But you own other Panzer
Marmalade Leader, yes.
Leader.
I know a lot of people take a lot of Mickey out of the game, and but I like it, and it's down to him. It's his fault. I like it. So, and the maps get better as the years go on. This is a 1990.
But that's what I'm saying. If you were going to play Panzer Grenadier, would you play with the Marmalade maps, or would you play with their slightly better looking maps?
Yeah, because they're using a lot of the Eastern European troops, which you don't find in the other one. Or it's American and Soviets, or American, or British and Soviets, or British and Germans. So with that, you've got a lot of the Eastern European thing. They did republish it to take that into account, but I've got it, and I just looked through it, and I've put that on a playthrough with the Marmalade maps and done a playthrough.
Or dare I say, this might be some controversy, all the ASL maps and counters.
Yeah, that's a good example too.
And you look at Panzer, the maps. You look at Combat Commander, the maps. So you look through that, don't you? Because you don't get bright blue.
I think the artwork in Combat Commanders. I mean,
Well, there you go. You see, because you love that game.
But it's not Marmalade.
They're not great maps.
They're not great maps. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's decent artwork.
Well, it's not great. It looks something out of the 90s. It looks like ASL have updated.
It was 2006 game. That's when it came out. Was it 2006? So. Yeah.
There you go. See, it's all horses for courses and subjective, so nobody's right, nobody's wrong. You can take the mickey. I don't care. I've got no hair.
Okay.
And it's your birthday. It's your birthday weekend.
I don't care. Yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow. I don't care.
Are you like my wife where it's like, oh, it's my birthday weekend, and then it's my birthday week, and then it's my birthday month?
I tried that. It doesn't work. No, she's shaking her head. No, it doesn't work. It's like Christmas. I want to start Christmas a week before Christmas, so we build up all the food and all that. No, Christmas Eve.
Oh, rough. Then you would love it here in America because Christmas starts in October sometimes.
Fantastic. Well, no, I want to start that week before Christmas.
There we go.
There you go. See, it's like me with Panzer Grenadier. Shut your face. It's very emotive. Some games are very emotive.
Look what Mike says, though. I'm working on a flip side to Wolfpack so you can hunt.
Oh, yeah. And you can link the two games together. Yeah.
I'm sold.
What 2 games?
Wolfpack and Destroyer, and you're going to be able to try and sync the subs.
Oh. No, that's like playing Skies Above Britain with RAF. It's bonkers.
Well, yeah.
Who we're talking about? We're talking about Mike, of course. That's going to be some kind of crazy bonkers.
Mark is mental. Sorry.
All right, Jester. What's your next one? Reason why you give up on a game?
I guess kind of my last kind of bugaboo is when a game just gets boring. There's not much going on. I like to play a lot of again, because of time constraints, I have to get it set up. So I play a lot of the easier games because I have to get it on the table, put it up, set all the cameras up, do everything. And it takes, okay. And then it's got to be put in the box and pedal. So a lot of them are a little easier, right?
Sure.
The problem is a lot of them just don't have a lot of meat on their bones and they get very boring and very, like,
it's all fluff and no stuff.
Try that, Jester. Try the solo one of that. It's okay. It's not very crunchy. But it's fun. You're trying to outwit this bot that's trying to take you off the board, and you're trying to bring this level down. You're trying to sabotage, and the cards. There's cards assisted. So give it a go. That's a nice.
Mr. Robin Hood is kind of the same thing, and I love that one. I played that with. Can't remember who I played it with, but that was a lot of fun, and. But some of the games are a little like just a little on the light side. There's not a lot going on.
Right.
I guess technically, the one thing that was kind of a downside with the Undaunted series for me was it was deck building and there were some interesting, cool things. But once you played a few of those scenarios, it was all kind of the same 6 units. And you weren't doing much with them. And it seemed like there just wasn't a lot of meat on the bones there. So I got bored. That's why I like Stalingrad, because Stalingrad, you go through the campaign, you're adding cards in and you're taking cards that were killed out. And so things are changing. The landscape is flipping over and, buildings will get destroyed. And if you win the scenario, you get recruits that will come in, new recruits, but those new recruits are green, so it was always new and fresh.
Yeah,
unlike the original Stalingrad, I played a few of those scenarios. It was good, but it was just kind of very light, and I was kind of bored a little bit. So.
I mean, yes, going back to this, I think you're going to get a good few hours out of it, and then you think, okay, that's put away now, so you can have a bit of fun for a few hours playing, because you've got 4 different people to play or 4 different organizations to play solo, so you can play through them. They've each got different winning things you have to do, but once you've played it a few times, it's going to be put away until let's get this out again. But I do recommend that as a light fun game to kill an hour.
You got it somewhere.
Yeah, I know you've got it. It's somewhere. A quick playing game as well, because you probably get your ass handed to you, by the
AI. Yeah.
Now, my next one, I'm a little trepidatious about mentioning this.
Well, you've been upsetting me all night, Nate. So don't, carry on.
Oh, bless your heart.
Oh, bless your cotton socks, as we say over here. Right.
Because I might get Jester going on a rant.
Oh God, no.
I would give up on a game.
Yeah,
Depending on, I would give up on a game depending on the amount of errata that there is in the game.
You'd never play any war game then, Nate.
It's why I said it depends on the amount of errata that's in there, and the errata and the specific type of errata. If it's counter errata, map errata, I may give up on it even initially. Like
you can't forgive map or counter errata. I don't think
it's hard. And rulebook errata depends on how much. If I have to have the rulebook over here and the errata sheet over here and go, okay, make sure, and I'm spending more time trying to look through both instead of just one document, then I'm out. I don't want to spend the time to go through it. And, I may be missing a great game, and that's fine, but the mistakes, too many mistakes, and I don't want to spend time with it. I'll go spend time with something else.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, he says.
I was not trying to. I was trying to
type something else.
I was trying to type something else, and I was using one of the ones that were already there. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's sorry for the insult. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dave mentions, doesn't War for America have a ton of errata? If you look, so the sheet that comes in the box, you read it once, and that's it.
Is it more clarifications though than
it is
erratas? Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of mistakes that the backside of one counter has the wrong date, but the reinforcement chart has it correct. And so no, I've never really had any trouble with the errata. That's why I said it depends on the errata.
Yeah, and the amount. Also on that, yes. But if it's a game I really want to play, then I will persevere with the errata to play the game. That's the difference, I suppose. I mean, Target for Tonight is a great example. 9 pages of errata. So I've worked through and done the rule because I want to play that at some stage, because it's the Brits night fighting, bombing.
Coy has it right. Extremely discouraging when you get a brand new.
Yeah. And I've seen that a few times, and when I've done an unboxing, I've gone, oh, yeah. But to be fair, a lot of them that I've done anyway are clarifications. There were some in Atlantic Chase, but more clarifications than actual errata.
That's right.
Crikey, look, the time.
Yeah, the time is running out. There's no right or wrong reason. We're just giving you things to think about when you're playing your game, and if you decide, I got to put this away because I'm just not having fun. I'm very frustrated.
The other one I was going to mention at the end there, the other reason I put a game away and stop is something shiny comes in. We're all guilty of that.
Oh, that should have been the first one we talked about, because that's a subject in itself.
Yeah, shiny
something new. You put something away because something new comes in.
That's shiny. Yeah,
that has happened more times, probably 30 times in the last year. Like I've had something and no, this one just came in. This one looks cool.
Oh, look, so then it's still got the shrink wrap on it. Oh no, we're gonna So that's the big one for me. I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
So Roof, winding things up this week. Are you gonna put a new video, start a new series of game, a new series of a game? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna hopefully spend next. Can't do tomorrow because it's my birthday, but next week I want to play through this a few times. Again, I'm going to be doing games that I play through, maybe a week to play through, and then video them. I know this is a simple game, so if I get it quick, I'd like to do. I mean, you can do a whole playthrough maybe in one video, an hour video. But But if I enjoy it, I might do another group, and do a couple of videos on this because it's just fun.
It looks like a good one.
You're gonna say bad words a lot because the Germans have done things and just ruined your plans.
It's always like, I'm going to put these marquee right here, and then the card you draw is like, oh, remove 2 marquee in this location.
Yeah, it's like yeah. So that's what I like about it because some of the cards aren't used in the solo play with the 2-player things, but yeah, it just looks fun. Yeah, and then after that, get that on, and then next thing, hopefully, a little bit of a gap while I get my head around that. Because that's on my 10-game list as well.
Okay.
And then after that, we're going to have a toss-up between A Glorious Chance and something else. So I'd like to have 2 on the go. I know we had this discussion last week.
We'll talk about it in 2028. Nate, what about you?
Anyway.
So I'll actually share what I have currently on the table.
Images to share. Wow.
And what I'm playing. This is on my 10-game list, Rome 2 Inc. This is on my 10-game list and on my table. And
I like the very arty photo with the skewed, map.
And you like that?
Oh, very arty, very nice.
You like that? Yeah.
I like that. Yes. No, I'm not joking. I like that. That's very arty.
You notice there's no glare. He's got plexiglass. He had to get the lights at the right angle.
Be very proud because if you didn't know, I took it myself.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of work to do that. Though.
That's a nice picky.
To get it look like that, it's a hard. It probably took you an hour to get that set up.
It took a
Nordic,
especially on getting it where there's no glare.
No glare, yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
you had to get the angle of the lights just right. You had to get the camera at the right position.
And to make sure there's no reflection. So, like, you can't see me.
That's professional looking, Nate. It does. It's
showing us up. You're showing us up, mate.
Well, guess what? I took it with an iPhone.
Yeah, they're great. Phones are great. They're 1080.
But that's what I'm learning right now. And it's on my 10-game list. And since I'm working on my dissertation on ancient Rome, I thought I want to pull out a game to kind of keep me in, so I can, keep me in the theme. So yeah, that's what I'm playing.
Look at that. Dicey Dave says Volume 3 of Combat out in America, I assume, sort of 4th of July.
Very cool.
There you go. Yeah. All right.
So probably a month later over here.
Jester, are you going to go back to Warframe?
Yeah, I got day 471. Every time you log in this game, that logs and tells you what day it is. I'm on day 471.
Whew.
Nurse.
So, I'll be playing a lot of Warframe on the channel, probably not much else. So it's either that or nothing right now for me. Unfortunately, it's just I don't have time to do other things, and it'll give me a good break. And as I talked about at the beginning of the show, in a couple weeks, we're going to be going away to Iceland, Greenland, or it's a cruise for like 2.5 weeks. I'm going to be gone. I'll miss like 2 shows in a row. And, being away, maybe that'll be a nice break, and I might have a different,
Rough, we're gonna be so upset.
So I'm filling up already.
Well, the numbers will be way down when I'm not here, but besides that, it's
they will.
Next week's show. I think it's Nate's turn again already, right? Ruff, it was you last week.
It's Ruff's turn because last week was my topic.
I thought it was was it Ruff last week?
It was on Ruff's channel last week, but it was my topic.
I'll just check. I'll check because I can't keep up with this. Video, live, and it was my last week. How do you decide which war game to play next? So Nate, it's actually you.
Oh,
because you did quick games the week before.
Wait a minute.
I apologize.
Who was right then? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, next.
I am perfectly fine.
No, it's just I don't mind.
And admitting I'm wrong.
No, you're not right or wrong. It's just you forgot. So I've got. Yeah,
I have a photographic memory. I remember everything, the way it was done, the way it was said. So
next, he's going to say he was a Cold War spy because of that photographic memory. Anyway,
right.
So quick game. No, quick game. What you did a
Nate
couple
wanted
weeks
to be
ago.
here. Or you want it on the Blender channel downstairs?
We can. I mean, it'll be on Ruff's channel. I would assume next week.
Well, I can promote it beforehand. You see.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so it'll be on Ruff's channel and it'll be Nate's. Do you have a subject yet? Do you want to announce
No,
it?
not yet.
No,
But,
he'll let me know. He'll let me know.
Yep. And
Right.
I believe it'll just be you and I, or do we have someone that could join us?
I'm here next week.
You're here next week. I
Yeah,
apologize.
no. It's a couple. I think it's towards like the end of June. It's like the last 2 weeks of June.
Sorry, we've come down now. We've come. Oh,
that's
no,
right.
Oh, right.
You still have to put up with me for a couple more weeks.
Couple of weeks, and then we'll get some stars in.
Well, I will let you both know. I will let everybody know what the topic is, and I'll try to pick a good one.
I'm going on a ship. Wherever the ship goes, that's where I'm going. But go to Apotek, the restaurant in Reykjavik. Best ever reindeer to eat. Okay, with that, we will sign off this week. Thanks, everyone. We have 70 some people this week. We appreciate everyone's time. Thank you so much. Hissy Cat, Brandon, Mike, Christopher, Sark, Nordic, Mike, Butter Jelly. You all been great. We love all your comments. Dicey Dave. I don't want to, Historic Wings, category Solo Gaming, Skoy,
tons of people join us.
Lots of people.
We love y'all. What is it, Ruff? We love them all in something.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Thank you, Nate.
Okay, there you go. Well, if there's nothing we can do about it, we'll just see them next week then.
Yeah, we'll be on the channel for Nate's thing. Jester will be there, unfortunately. So take care. As always, take care, and we'll see you next week. And we do love you all. And there is nothing you can do about it.